Welcome back to another visit to the house of the holy motherfucker. And I enjoy this time I get to share with you because, you know, we really need to get it out there about the legalization of weed. You know, we're not asking the legalization of anything else, you know, byproduct or improved product. We want weed legalized because it's only logic. They wouldn't have half of the war against drugs if they would just go ahead and leave everybody grow themselves some. Homegrown is where it's at. And it's common logic that, you know, why it's not being legalized. Because everybody would grow it and there really wouldn't be a huge manufacturing conglomerate to buy. Because, you know, everybody be able to grow some. You know? We need to go there. We need to do the peaceful thing. Plant a seed. My one dog likes it whenever I'm growing because I gotta keep him away from this stuff because he like chews it up. I think it helps him with his arthritis because anytime he gets a hold of a plant, he chews the hell out of it. Follows us around for it too if we're smoking it. Yeah, he'll hop right up on the lap. But seriously, we need to pull up some seeds. You know, give our, you know, give Big Brother something to be flying over with those helicopters taking pictures. You know, hide it well would be a good point. But that's why they don't want it to go to the point of being legal, because simply it would almost like vanish the market. I mean, there would always be the custom growers, you know, it's going to cost you something to get some of it. But to the average Joe that has more than 5 foot of backyard, you know, legalize it. You know, they'd be planting seeds in every little yard in America. Potted plants. You would have it coming out your ears. And that's why they won't legalize it, because we know this will happen. See, you can't have a politician's family living off of nothing, you know. They want to keep that all, you know. I'm sure they'll come up with some rule like they did with the oranges in Florida. You know, the growers pushed and pushed and pushed. Now, the average Joe is not allowed to have orange trees in their yard. As soon as the, you know, local government sees orange trees, they're like, oh, we got to get that out of there. It's got that orange peel disease or some fungus. You know, you're going to kill off everybody's crops. You know, the rich again struck there. Mark my words, if they legalize drugs, there'll be all kinds of shit, controversies like that going on. You know, somebody with a little bit more money and a lot of land will be like, boy, bet you if we grow that like tobacco, it'll be more popular than tobacco was. Mark my words. It's the rich. Right now, you know, they got this war on drugs. Weed's the headliner. I mean, doesn't that sound like kind of stupid? Okay? They legalize alcohol, which eats holes in your stomach, burns your liver out, your kidneys, burns your pancreas out. The rich is in charge of that, if you're paying attention. The fact of the weed, everybody wants some. And the rich know it. We need to just plant a seed. I know that weed comes from a seed, okay? Isn't that kind of like natural? You put the seed in the ground, which, you know, God created that seed, and you put it in the ground, and what comes up? You smoke. You don't add nothing, you don't mix nothing with it, you don't. It's a gift from the gods. If you're paying attention, it's a seed. Everything that's legalized to do, you know, they got a sin tax on it. Like alcohol, sin tax. Smoking cigarettes, sin tax. They say that you can't, like, mix church with government. Isn't it redundant to pay a sin tax? And that's what it's called. So whenever you go to church, you know, it isn't enough that you're paying the church, you know, the 10% that they demand. You got to pay another amount, percentage of tax for each dollar you spend on a sin to the state and federal government. When you start really thinking about these things, doesn't it sound kind of like really redundant? And that's the thing, it's all about the money. And see, if they legalize the fact of people possessing weed, okay, for self-indulgence, whatever, they know there's really not going to be a market developed to where, like, the Clintons can get their hands on it, or the Kennedys can. Oh, I'm sure they'll figure out a way of getting some of it. But that's what it's all about. It's about the rich, the government taxing. Yeah, like, they don't bother taxing you if you grow food in your garden, okay? So that's like tax-free food when you grow your food yourself. And that's what they're worried about with the weed, because people who know how to grow or got a green thumb will be growing it, and then, you know, there goes, there's no way of charging for that, because, you know, but I'm sure they'll figure out a way. They'll figure out a way to make us uncomfortable, because, you know, our government that says there's no mixing church and government, evidently got it screwed up somewhere whenever they say, oh, okay, this is a sin tax. What's that sound like to you? See, whenever I used to go to church, you know, whenever the tray would come around, I'd say I paid my sin tax. Yeah, don't belong to no churches anymore. Yeah, they didn't like that answer. But what happened here? It went off for a second. I see. We almost had a, well, we did have a screw up there. The screen went black and I disappeared. So it scared me. But if everybody who hears this plants a seed, we'll get somewhere with it. So it's me coming from the house of the holy motherfucker, which we'll get into later on about what that's about. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's my idea. So I'll let y'all in on it as time progresses. For now, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank you for listening.